The other day, I was driving with a car, and there was this song in the radio that was like, you can't always have what you want. You can't always get what you want. And this is literally the dumbest song that I ever heard. And I just had the urge to create this video and tell you guys that society literally is teaching us with the music, the news, like you have to have a job and work for the next 40, 50 years for somebody else. Like you cannot be, self-employed, entrepreneurship is risky. All those, bullshit stories that everyone is telling us, and that we are literally conditioned to think that we cannot have what we want. So I'm here to tell you, no, you can have what you want. You don't need to settle for less. You can always reinvent yourself. You can write your own story. You can decide whatever you want to be, do, or have. Why would you settle? If you're not happy within your life, why would you settle? You see all these other people living their dream reality, traveling the world, doing the things they want to do, and you think you can have this? So that's why you tell yourself these lies and you settle for less. You know what settles? Dust settles. Are you dust? I don't think so. So I'm here to tell you that you can always reinvent yourself. This is literally like a marketing strategy, okay? Like everyone does it all the freaking time. I reinvent myself all the freaking time because I'm literally bored with my old version of me and I need a new version. I need to upgrade myself. I need to level up. Even like Beyonce, like all these like very, very famous people, they reinvent themselves all the time. Do you think they would just change their hair and do something completely else instead? Do you think that happens by accident? No, it's a marketing strategy to stay relevant. So if you want to have a relevant life, if you want to be relevant in your own life, you need to learn how to reinvent yourself, how to change your story, how to level up yourself, and how to stop settling for the bullshit story that you or somebody else keeps on telling you what you should believe, what you should be doing, and who you actually are. Because your potential, and I'm telling you 100% that your potential, it's much more than what you're currently living in your current reality. Hi, my name is Alina and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you how you can stop settling for that bullshit story that you keep on telling yourself on why you cannot have this, why you are not like that, and why you're not living your perfect life. You know what? It is time to reinvent yourself. So no, you don't have to accept everything as it is. You don't have to just stay miserable in that relationship, that job, that friendship, whatever you're currently living with, what you're not happy with. You don't have to settle. If you're not happy where you're at right now, you need to move. You can move. You're not a freaking tree. Yes, change is painful sometimes. Yes, it takes, a lot of effort to keep on developing yourself, to work on your mindset. It's a very hard journey, but everything in life is hard, okay? Choose your heart, okay? But some people might be very proud of you and clapping for you when you're evolving, and others might be mad because you outgrow them. And what happens is when you outgrow people, when you reinvent yourself, when you kind of like start changing, like, do you know those people that are like, oh, you're changing so much, like you're so different? Well, that's life, my love. Things change, things evolve. That's the circle of life. And if you keep on staying the same, you're literally going backwards. So you have to reinvent yourself. You have to always make sure that you are evolving every single day towards your best self. If you have a specific vision for your life, desires, a passion, something that you burn for, why would you keep staying comfortable where you're at just because it's comfortable? Just because you're so used to it? Your body is acting on autopilot. The body is a very interesting thing, just as the mind does, right? We can create our entire reality just as we want to. Everything is always created twice. First in your mind, and then you manifest it into reality with your habits, your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, everything that you do. So if you are not happy in your current reality and you seem like you cannot really get out of it, check yourself. How are you feeling? How are you thinking every single day? If you feel constantly miserable, there you got it. You need to work on your thoughts. You need to work on your emotions. You need to feel better now. You need to be more grateful. Like all those things that I'm constantly repeating myself until every single last person that is watching my video gets it and actually applies it. Because it's not just only about, listening. No, you have to apply it. You have to actually go out there and apply it. You know what I just did? Today is the 8th of August. So, it's a very powerful day. Like the energies, if you are very, let's say spiritual and you believe in like energies, like I don't really have to like convince anybody that this stuff works, because it does work. Every single successful person will tell you that this works and this is how they get the things that they want. There's literally courses that I took worth thousands of dollars that are telling you and teaching you these exact things that I'm telling you now. Like, you need to write your goals down. You need to get emotionally involved with a certain goal. You need to repeat it, okay? This is how you reprogram yourself. Because if you think about it, how your life looks right now, it is based on your past decisions, on your past feelings, on your past thoughts, okay? So if you want to change your future, unless you are recreating your current present in your future, you need to change your thoughts and feelings and action habits, the way you think, everything, your belief system now. And how you do that is with repetition of new beliefs, because you've been programmed your entire life. So now you need to reprogram yourself with new beliefs, and that takes time. And that is why it's so hard for people, because people think like they want to have everything right now. This is not how it works. If you've been programmed, let's say for 28 years of your life, you need to give yourself some time to reprogram yourself, to start believing what you're telling yourself. If you truly believe right now that you are not good enough to live the life of your dreams, to shake your ass on a yacht, to, live that luxury lifestyle that you think you want, or that you want, then it's probably because deep down you think you can't deserve it. You think there's no way that I can possibly get it. I'm not good enough, like those type of limiting beliefs. So you need to shake up those beliefs. You need to become very delusional. How I'm doing this, like how I'm reinventing myself, I literally write down exactly my 2.0 version of me, like a self-image of myself, of who I want to be, how I dress myself, how I act, how I talk, everything about me in like very, very detailed, and then I'm starting to read it out loud. And guess what I'm doing? While I'm reading out things out loud, I literally imagine them in my mind. For example, I'm telling you right now, imagine your fridge. Imagine your fridge. How does it look? What side does the door open? What do you have in your fridge? Because you're so used to that fridge, it pops up directly in your mind. Or if I'm telling you, don't think about an elephant, you think about an elephant right away. It just pops up in your mind. So you have created that picture, visualization in your mind. You know what it looks like. So you need to do the same thing with the life that you want, even though you're not living it right now. So you need to become delusional, as I said. You need to imagine your life as you want to have it, and feel as if you already have it right now. That's how you visualize. That's how you manifest anything that you want. And with that repetition, you will automatically be on a higher frequency, and you will automatically attract better, because your vibration is higher. So you will attract people, okay? You will attract events, opportunities, things into your life where you then can take action, starting new habits, doing different things, because you created your current reality with the things that you do right now. If you want to have a new reality, you need to do things different. Very logical, right? So if you want to create that new reality, you need to act as if you already have it right now. If you don't like your style, change it. If you don't like your friends, go look for new ones. If you don't like your partner, break up. If you don't like your job, look for a new way, look for a new career, look for, a business to start. There's so many different opportunities that are out there, but probably you're just being like, oh, I think it's a scam. Oh, no, I don't think that I can do this. Yes, you can, my love. The proof that you can lies within other people. If somebody else did it, you can do it too. Every single human being, when they are born, they have the same exact potential. You know? If you're thinking, oh, I cannot be rich because I've not been born rich, do you know that there's people out there that were literally sleeping on park benches, that were homeless, even that, you know, were sleeping in their cars or whatever because they didn't have a home, and now they're one of the wealthiest people in the world? You can create anything if you just believe it. But of course, if you keep on telling yourself these lies, then this is what you're gonna get. A miserable life where you get constantly confirmed that you are not good enough based on your beliefs, based on what you attract. Did you know that every single human being here on this planet is here for a certain reason, for a purpose? That every single human being has unique talents and gifts and skills that nobody else has? If you focus on those strengths instead of focusing on the things you cannot do and complaining and thinking about, I can't do this, I can't do that, what can you do? You know, what can you do? What are you good at? What is your passion? What would you like to learn? You know, if you don't know something, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means that you need to learn something. It's very simple. People are acting so helpless these days. They literally, you know, they're just okay with not being able to do something. I never tell myself I cannot do this. I don't speak those words to myself because that's limitations that I put on myself. The person can learn certain things. But the things that you tell yourself on what you cannot do, it is also true, because whether you think you can do something and whether you think you cannot do something, both ways you're going to be right. You know what? I'm going to tell you a personal story right now. About like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I was at one of the lowest points in my life. I was diagnosed with PTSD after I kind of like relived my trauma. I was struggling. I was very depressed. I used to just break down and start crying like randomly anywhere, when I was, you know, driving home from work, when I was, you know, sometimes like sitting in the shower and crying for hours and hours, crying myself to sleep, like I couldn't sleep because I had nightmares, like all those things. I was very, very, very miserable at that point. And I believed that this is my life, that I'm just gonna live that way forever, right? And one day, my sister, my mom visited me, and they were taking me out for brunch, and I was just feeling very empty inside. I was just not existing. Like I was literally like a zombie. And we were sitting in this cafe, and I remember literally how my mom and my sister looked at me, so full of like sadness that they couldn't really help me, you know, and they were telling me like, hey, you have to put yourself up. Like you're literally always so positive. Like you have to, you know, get the Alina back, you know, the real you. And I was sitting there and I was like looking in their eyes, and I saw like how sad they were seeing me like this. And I just started crying. I just started crying in the middle of the cafe, and I couldn't hold myself. Like I didn't know what to do. So I went into the restroom and I was like looking at myself, and I didn't recognize myself anymore, you know? That's how miserable I was. I couldn't even like recognize myself in the mirror anymore. I was just like, who's that girl? That is not me, you know? I felt literally sorry for myself. And this went on for months. Like I was just constantly telling myself of the things I could not achieve and stuff like that. Then I basically broke up with my ex-boyfriend back then, and I had to move out. It was kind of like his apartment, and his family was living there too, so I had to move out. And I lost my job at the same time. Okay, so I had to move back to my mom. At that time, a book fell into my hands, which is called The Secret. And in The Secret, it is telling you that you create your reality, you know? That you have to take responsibility for the things that you have in your life or the things you don't have in your life, because you create your reality. And I was mad, you know? I was very pissed, because I was thinking, no, I didn't want this. I didn't want this. I didn't want to be abused. I didn't want to, you know, be in toxic relationships. I didn't want to lose my job. I didn't want this. I didn't want all of this. Like, why, how? You know, that's how I was thinking. And then I realized, you know what? The more I kept on reading, and I read passages like, what you speak in your life, what like the words that you speak become your reality. That's when I realized, you know what I always was talking about, you know, myself and my life? I used to constantly tell myself I hate my life. I'm so broke. I cannot afford this. I cannot afford that. I have so many problems. Like, I don't know, every single time I'm doing good, there's always happening something, and that makes life worse again. And I used to really believe that, even like every single time then it was that my life was going too good for a certain while, I was like almost suspicious. I was like thinking, no, that's not right. Like something needs to happen. And then usually something happened that, problem occurred, a bill came up, whatever. So I was realizing, you know what? Maybe I actually did create my life. Of course, the things I went through in my past or what somebody had done to me, like you are not responsible for what other people do to you. You are not responsible, for the things that happened to you as a child. But you know what? You are responsible for your life now. You are responsible for yourself as an adult. You can create your own reality now. You are able to make a choice of how you want to react, because 90% of what happens to us, it is not what happens to us, but how we react. Only 10% is what happens to us. 90% is how you react towards it. But there are people out there that don't really have food every single day on their table, but are still putting up a smile. And when a stranger comes into their, town, they're gonna offer him whatever they have. Or people that lose their jobs, and instead of being like whining about it, complaining, they're like, maybe I did ask for that because I hated my job actually. When I lost my job back then, you know what? I wasn't sad. I wasn't mad about it. Because the funny thing is, I started with journaling and manifesting, and I started thinking about, I don't like my job. I don't like the way I'm living. I don't really like my relationship either. And I really want to start all over again, but I don't know how. And then universe happened, God happened, okay, and they literally took everything away from me to give me something better. So you always have to think about whatever you lose is an opportunity for something better to come in. But if you're so focused on what you have, there's literally no room for better things to come in, because you're blocking that, those things are blocking your view. So if you want a different reality, you need to say goodbye to your old life, to your old you. You need to go to that funeral of yourself, of the things that you have that you don't want. You need to let them go. You need to make space. Realize that it is literally my fault of how I'm reacting and how I'm perceiving my own reality. This is when things started to change. This is when I started to really, really develop myself, focus on the things I can control, which is myself. And I started to really manifest literally anything that happened after that. I literally write it down. The things I want, I write them down, I speak them, I visualize them, I meditate. I am very close to myself in my heart, and I am open for anything that life throws at me, because I know I can handle it, I'm not mad, because usually when something is happening, guys, it is not to hurt you. It is to teach you something. And when you have that, when you have that realization of that this is just your life, your life throws at you challenges for you to learn something, life gets so much easier, because you can just be grateful, for whatever happens to you. Even when somebody's cheating on you, when somebody's treating you bad, when you lose your job, when you lose money, whatever happens, it is all just there to teach you something, whether it is patience, whether it is remaining a good attitude, or being kind and more understanding. Everything is there to be either a win or a lesson. And if you view life that way, life becomes very peaceful. So if you want to have peace of mind, that's what you need to do. See everything as either a win or a lesson. Everything is energy, guys. So whatever you put out there, it's going to come back to you, multiplied. So if you're putting out shit thoughts and shit feelings, you're going to get shit back. That's just how it goes. So once you start to take ownership about your life, on your behavior and your actions, you can also take different types of decisions, and that's a beautiful thing. The moment where you feel very helpless, and I did feel that way, okay? I felt very helpless. I always thought everything is just happening to me, okay? But you know what? Now I know that I can look back. I know how these things shaped me, how I needed to go through that depression to really truly find myself, to find that book, to find out about the law of attraction, about manifestation, about vibration, and all those things that developed me into a better person. And now that I'm, coaching people within my business, I can help those people. And you know what? When somebody comes to me and telling me I'm so depressed, I'm going through this, and this and that, you know what I'm telling themselves? You know what? Good. Because it shapes you. It shapes your character. It builds you up. Like, how do you want to teach other people how to win battles? You never yourself were on the battlefield. It doesn't work like this. Nobody's going to take you seriously. So everything you learn right now, you have to, take those lessons and you have to be grateful for them. Even like with the thing about my past and, what happened to me, I try to be grateful for it. Sometimes it's hard and I do have days where I'm just like mad, but then I'm reminding myself, you know what, this is my healing phase right now. I'm going through this and I need to forgive and to let go. And I need to be grateful for it because it made me who I am. It made me the person I am today. It made me so much stronger. And with that strength that I developed for myself, I can help others. And that's what we're here for, to grow and to contribute. If you're just here for yourself, you're missing out big time. To give and to help is so much more fulfilling. You have no idea, When I started to make my own checks, like my first big checks in the business, I was so proud of myself. Of course, I was happy, right? But you know what always got me every single time? When I received a message from somebody that is telling me, you changed my life. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you so much for shining and being the light and like being the leader. And, like you changed me. Like those moments are the most fulfilling things I always experience. And that's when I know, you know what? It wasn't all for nothing. It wasn't all for, just being miserable and like going through all this shit to just whatever, for whatever reason. No. It was all there for a bigger purpose. And if you're going through something right now, if you're feeling miserable, change it. Reinvent yourself. Don't settle for this bullshit. Don't accept it as your current reality. You can change your reality like this. The only person that can change your life is yourself. Because it's nobody's fault how you choose to react. It's your fault. So if something is happening to you, stop being like so, overly emotional right away. Take a step back and be like, hey, wait a second. Why is this happening? What can I get out of this? And with every single time that you do this, maybe you can even like have a book and you can write your feelings down, like when something is happening and you're in a miserable situation kind of, and you would not feel good, like you feel like those like anger issues come up, right? Like that frustration, write it down and ask yourself, what caused that frustration right now? And how can I get out of it? I was in a very, very good coaching call today from one of the most successful people in, in the industry I'm working in. And she said something that was really powerful. Have a pivot plan. Because having a pivot plan is basically you pivoting your emotions instead of overreacting, and control your emotions instead. Okay, so you find out how you can pivot your emotions. For example, what makes you happy, right? Like the things that calm you down. What does that do? Like for me, it's going for a walk, like, breathing, literally breathing, just breathing. It is sometimes so simple, but sometimes we're like so stuck in like the things that are happening around us that we do not turn inwards. And that's the actual fault, because we need to turn inwards instead of outwards. Okay, so when something is happening, ask yourself, you created this probably through how you're thinking and how you're feeling. So check yourself how you're thinking and how you're feeling, and change the feeling and how you react to things. Don't get angry at like things that you cannot control. Like sometimes people get angry when it's raining. Are you like the god of the weather? Like, are you like sitting in the cloud and like putting water down on people? No, you're not. So you cannot control it, So why would you be wasting your energy on something that you cannot control? Or when somebody's driving poorly next to you, don't get frustrated and angry and like wish that person something bad. that person doesn't know how to drive. And did you die? No. Wish that person well for the future and move on with your life and your happiness. Like years ago, I was very angry when my bus didn't come on time or I missed the train, and I was literally like raving. I was like on fire inside, right? And then at a certain point, I realized, you know what? If I'm missing my train, I can listen to some more music. I can listen to a podcast instead and learn something, develop myself. I have more time for that. Isn't that amazing? So if you're next time you're stuck in traffic and you're starting to get frustrated, okay, and you're like, oh my God, I'm wasting all my time, all that energy, blah, blah, blah. Turn on a podcast or a meditation, make on some good affirmations and feel yourself. Tell yourself, I am calm, relaxed, and peaceful. I am happy and fulfilled. Count your blessings, okay? List all the things that you're grateful for. And guess what? You're going to feel so much better when you come home, and you don't have to tell your husband or your spouse or your sister or your mom or whoever, oh my God, now I was stuck in traffic again, and put that negative energy onto them as well so that everyone can just be miserable all together. No. Stop being a negative Nancy. It's going to take some work. What I started doing when I found out about the law of attraction and that I need to change my way of thinking and feeling, I stopped defining myself of what I have achieved so far, the things I have. I started to define myself about the person that I am, my values, the way how I'm thinking, and like my kindness, my love for other people, And the more I defined myself through these things, and I was able to let go of my past, and I was starting to, heal myself, and I started meditating, doing yoga, doing workouts, going for walks, being in nature, being present, and just being grateful, counting my blessings. Like I literally had this diary where I was writing down every single day things that I'm grateful for. I started meditating, and while I was meditating, I was visualizing my life that I wanted to live. And you know what? It all came to reality very fast because I was believing it. And then I got confirmations because things were starting to happen in my life, out of nowhere. And I was just like, it was confirming that law of attraction works. And you're using it right now, just the other way around. You need to start using the law of attraction for your advantage. You need to learn about the 12 universal laws, and you need to operate based on those laws. And once you do that, and you start to get better, and you start to understand how your mind works, your life starts shifting. And anyone can do this. For some people, it may take time. Some people may go faster, depending on your current status of how you view yourself, your belief system, your habits, and everything that you think and feel. It is a decision that is up to you. Just know that at any given moment in time, you can start to make new decisions. Very small ones in the beginning. And then it adds up, Do it 1% every single day. Give your best every single day. Sometimes it's 50% that you can give, sometimes 80, sometimes 100, sometimes 150. But try to give your best every single day. Take the time to develop yourself. The only person that you can change is yourself. And with changing and bettering yourself, you're also changing the world, because you're consciously raising your vibration that adds up to the consciousness and the vibration of the world. So if a lot of people are doing those things and raising their vibration, the world becomes a better place. Stop blaming and start pointing the finger to everyone else. Point it at yourself and ask yourself, what can I do now? Stop settling. Stop settling for that version of you that you don't even want to be. If you're not happy with yourself, why would you stay there? Stop being so comfortable just because you know this. Why things feel uncomfortable when you do them the first time, and then later you most likely are going to find out that it's not even that bad. It was just the fear in your mind. It is because your body is used to that comfort zone. It is operating on that autopilot, because everything that you do not know, your body right away turns on, like your nervous system is going on like fight or flight. And that's why it's feeling uncomfortable. Not because it is comfortable, not because it's not right for you, but because it's something new and your body is not used of you being different because it's been operating in a certain way for a very long period of time. So if you want to, get used to a new reality, you need to start making those decisions outside of your comfort zone. The best things are happening outside of your comfort zone. Those things that you hear are true. Reinvent yourself and don't settle for anything less that you really deep down desire. You have that desire in your heart for a reason. Don't just bury it aside and be like, oh no, I can't. Yes, you do. You just have to become consciously aware of that you can. And then all the other things are going to figure themselves out on the way. You don't need to, when you're going the staircase, you're not trying to jump from the first step right away to the last one. You're going to go one step at a time. That's literally how you're going to treat this. You need to focus on the journey and you need to focus on the, first step that you're going to have to make. And then everything else will fall into place. You're going to get there somehow. I hope this video helped you guys, and if it did, drop me a comment below, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel, obviously. And I see you guys in my next video. Bye.